live in many years here on YouTube. So, hello. Nobody's probably here right now, but it's okay because I'm just, testing it out. I never did a live on YouTube. So what's up? I'm Mimi, known as She Surf Mimi, known as Mimi Miller Style, depending on how long you've been here. If you know, you know. I've been on YouTube for a long time, making content. But you know what? The algorithm here has been hiding me for a long time because I used to do hair content, but I am a surfer as well, which I've been surfing for the past 13 years. And I've been making surf content for the past 13 years. I wanted to have an outlet because prior to that, it was like 30 years of me, just 25 years, I would say, just me talking about hair. And then 13 years ago in my mid 40s, when I became an empty nester, I was like, you know what? I need to do something different. I'm tired of the same things, and I have much more creativity to give. And yeah, so I started making surf content about 13 years ago. And I think the algorithm is just now understanding what my particular niche is. I mean, it is hard to put a woman in a category who is over 45 and living lifestyle that a very small percentage of people in America get to live. And so I look like an anomaly because truly there's probably only like maybe at the most 7% of us that actually surf, people of color, let alone black people. I think we're probably at 3%. And I guess the algorithm did not know what to do with me, which is so weird because, I've been about beauty my whole life, and that hasn't changed. So I'm still about beauty in this surf life. I still am about creativity and beauty and showing beauty. So, hello, I see I have one person there. I'm just sitting here introducing myself in this surf life that I live, and it's kind of like a little bit of a cloudy day, I guess you could say. There's some dolphins out there in the water. Dolphins are out there today. The dolphins actually have been, thank you, the dolphins actually have been making their way out here. Hi, how you doing? The dolphins have been actually making their way out here. Like, I'll be posting a video later this evening about me in the ocean with some dolphins. And they've been right up to the shore lately. I don't know what's going on, but hey, y'all. Yes, the beach is so beautiful, right? It's a little overcast, and at first, when I first got out here, it felt a little cold, and I was about to go back home, but it got kind of better. It got better. So when the dolphins come back up, because they're actually really close to shore today, you can almost see them out there, like right around there. But we're having what they call an El Nino. The ocean is changing, and so we're having a lot of marine life that's coming toward the shore lately. And I'll be posting a video this evening that shows that there was literally 30 dolphins that was surrounding me. I was in Orange County, and 30 dolphins was surrounding me and a group of surfers in a lineup, and they just stayed with us for like 2 hours. 2 hours in the water. Now, I've been in this surf life for 13 years now, and that has not ever happened. I mean, I've had dolphins surf with me before on a Wednesday, like back in 2000 and maybe it's like 2014, 15. And they surfed with me before, and they went back out to the ocean. And thank you. And then, we always see them passing by, like when we're in a lineup, we always see dolphins passing by us, going back and forth. But this time, they were literally just chilling with us in the ocean, being by our side, underneath our board, around us, just there. And I felt like they were protecting us. They were curious about us. They just wanted to stay with us. It was quite unusual. So I'll be posting that video later on. But yeah, it's nice being in this surf life. I've been here 13 years, like I was explaining earlier, and it's very interesting. I started surfing after I became an empty nester. My children moved out the house in my 40s. I've been on this YouTube for a long time, probably since the beginning. And I should have well within like, I should have at least 40,000 subs by now. But oh well. I think the algorithm here did not understand me because I started off making beauty content, hair content, you know, talking about hair a lot, natural hair before anybody else was making hair stuff. And then, you know, after 20 years, I just got tired. You know, I love beauty. I'm always going to be in beauty. I'm always going to talk about creativity and beauty and show beauty. But I have different sides of beauty I like to show, like the ocean, you know, like that's the boat. That boat is actually real close today. But and there's some actually surfers out there, all the way out there. Wait a minute, right there. There's actually some surfers out there with their boat too. And there's some dolphins that are super close today. Nobody's really in the ocean because it's windy. Yeah, it's pretty out here. Sometimes I like to go to beaches where there's not a lot of people for the day. I don't know, sometimes I'm an introvert and I don't feel like being around a lot of people. There's actually a lot of people down that way. I kind of just go a little bit further so I can have some meditation. There's actually some people down that way too. They're having a party. They're having a party down there. But I wouldn't be able to talk to y'all if I was down there with the party. And I just like to meditate. You know, meditate and talk about the ocean and, you know, fill up on the ions and release some stress in the water, release some things. Oh, the boat is turning around. I guess it's turning around. I don't know what it's doing. It made a turnaround. It's not going the other way. But yeah, it's pretty today. The weather is okay. This kind of weather, I think it's about 72 degrees. I like it a little warmer to surf. Like next week's supposed to be warmer. But I didn't know people were on live on YouTube. I didn't know. I said, let me see how this live works. One of my friends was like, you should go live. So I said, okay, I'll go live. Let me see. You know, I usually go live on TikTok or on TikTok, not live a lot though, but I thought I'd come live here just to see how it is and to talk to my subs and say hello, because I think I only post like once or twice a month, maybe once every couple of weeks. But when I post though, I post really good content. I'm very intentional and mindful about the content, and I'm always trying to share something that you could understand, or like, you know, you're from Clearwater, Florida. Hello. Oh my God. It's kind of like y'all's today. Wow. Well, you know, we just had a lot of seaweed. As you see, there's some seaweed down there. You can see the seaweed coming close to the shore. The seaweed actually just cleaned the ocean. And we have these, like, this is the period where the ocean is clean. After we get a whole bunch of seaweed, because just last week I was in the water and it was just so much, it scared me. I thought something was following me. It was so much seaweed in the water. But I knew that the week after all the seaweed comes to the shore and you just see a whole bunch of it, that it was going to be cleansed like this. So yeah, we have to wait on the seaweed. So we get a couple of months out of the year where the water even gets clearer than this. It's like it gets really, really pristine, where you can literally see to the bottom. You can really, and I posted videos here before of it, but you can really see to the bottom. It's super clear. I open my eyes in the water. So yeah, we get a bad reputation of having dirty water, but it's not always like that. it goes through different cycles, different changes, and yeah, we're in a kind of a weird kind of cycle today because there's some El Nino conditions coming, which is going to make some larger surf for the summer, some heavier whip currents. It's like storm water under here. And I remember when I first started surfing, we had an El Nino. And we had some pretty heavy surf to the point where I got a black eye. I remember going out to the ocean with my board. I put my board down and the wind was so heavy that it gave me a black eye. I had literally a whole black eye, and everybody that knew me thought I was lying that the ocean gave me a black eye. They literally thought that somebody had hit me. And people were having like sit down talks with me trying to, you know, get me to tell who blacked my eye, but no, it was actually my surfboard with the heavy wind and the El Nino surf. And so, oh, it's getting sunny and beautiful out here. People are jogging, people are just now coming outside and moving around, and yeah, I just wanted to say hello and give you some of this ocean today. I was actually making some content about Nick Gabledon because Nick Gabledon Day is coming up for one of the surfing groups I'm in, and it's when we honor the first Black and Hispanic surfer. He was biracial, Black and Hispanic, and he used to paddle 12 miles north from Santa Monica to Malibu to surf. And it was in the 50s and 60s during the time of segregation, so he couldn't even, you know, like drive to a beach to surf because of course he would have been stopped by police, he would have been stopped by citizens, he would have stopped by mobs, a group of people who would have saw his black self in the car and wondering why is he going there. His board was like, back then their boards was like 80 to 100 feet, 80 to 100 pounds back then. It was a 13-foot board. So he literally had to walk down to the break, get in the water, stretch for a minute, get in the water with his board and paddle 12 miles north to Malibu just to surf. So we honor him June the 6th in Santa Monica at the beach called the Inkwell. It's a place where only Black Americans could go after they burned down Bruce Beach, because you know about Bruce Beach in Manhattan Beach. It was one of the first black beaches that Black Americans could come to, own land. They had a beach club there. Other than there was one in Huntington Beach as well. I'll talk about that another time too, but yeah, that was after they got rid of that and pushed them out. Santa Monica was the other place that they could go. So when they went to Santa Monica, you know, he would have to paddle to Malibu, and Malibu just had the best waves. So yeah, that's on June the 6th coming up. And I was just making content today and thought I'd say hi to you all. And then I'll be posting that video later today too. So check out the videos, and hello to you all, and thank you for being here today. Maybe I'll do lives more often now that I know that there's a, you know, audience here to actually do the lives, you know, because I didn't know nobody was here or be online. You know, where y'all at? I know somebody's in Florida, and she was saying that we have we have water like Florida, Floridians. I was just in Florida 2.5 weeks ago. I went on a Virgin voyage I went from Miami to the Virgin voyage to the Bahamas, and that was amazing. There was a creator cruise for 1,000 of us content creators to experience the Virgin voyage with no kids and how it felt to be on the voyage. And I loved it because it was such diversity. They had so many different kinds of content creators there. You know, I'm over 50, so I was actually surprised that I got to go. Like, what? But you know, they had from anybody over 18 to, they even had the what do you call that, the senior crew. I forgot the senior, I forgot what they're called, but they're very popular I can't think of their names, but it was like an older senior citizen house. I can't think of it, senior living house or something. But whatever their content is, they were there too. And yeah, so it was a lot of diversity there. So that's the last time I had been in Florida. Was 2 weeks ago, and y'all weather is so much different. Like 80 degrees there is much hotter than 80 degrees here, and I'm kind of jealous. Because 80 degrees there is like you get that moisture, it's a lot of humidity, and I feel like that's great for your skin. Like everybody looks heavily moisturized and youthful. And ours is almost kind of like a dry desert kind of thing. You know, we need a lot of moisture. It's still very dry. You know, we need water softeners here for our water, because it's not, you know, it's a lot more, it's different. It's different. The weather is certainly a lot different. But yeah, we usually get this clear water after the seaweed, after we have a seaweed day, or seaweed, we had seaweed season, I'll say the season of seaweed, and now the water is clear because of it. There's still a lot of it out there. You can see it, how there's dark seaweed right here along the shore. That's all the seaweed that's still trying to push its way up here. And then there's that clear water right here, and then further out you see the dark water. That's the seaweed bloom that's still trying to, you know, make its way towards shore. And probably by next week the water is going to be like pristine looking. That's when I like to make my content too, when I like to make my surf content, because we don't always get that look of clear water. So I'll be trying to make a lot of content next week with that. And then we just had some dolphins. See, they disappear. Every time I try to get them on camera, they disappear. But I got them on camera, which I'm going to be posting the video later. I got them on camera this past week. 30 of them was literally in the water with us, and that was phenomenal. You know, like I have dolphins tattooed on my chest. I have dolphins. Look, I have dolphins that I got tattooed. It's hard to show, but my dolphins go around. I got dolphins tattooed on me about when I was 25. I'm 56 now. I don't know how many years. You count. Y'all young. Y'all use your brain. I think y'all young. I don't know. But I got these dolphins on my 25th birthday because I actually thought I would never see dolphins in my life. And you know, that taught me something on so many different levels. You know, it continues, like from the first time I actually saw dolphins, when I was in the water with them, when they surfed with me to shore about 8 years ago. And then as they usually pass through the ocean, pass back and forth. But this time they actually stayed with us, 30 different dolphins like around us, like they were surrounding us to protect us. It's a mind-boggling experience, and it just really shows that, you know, to be careful what you tat on your body and what you know, the things that you count yourself out of in life. Because I never thought I would see dolphins. I got this tattoo when I was in Detroit, raising 3 children. You know, in low-income housing. I just never thought that I would just be in this kind of place like this. I'm like, I ain't gonna ever see no dolphins. So you know what? I'm gonna get them close to my chest, tatted on my chest, because, you know, at least I can do that, because that just possibly can't happen for someone like me. You know, with 3 children, 19, got married, divorced at 24, 25, 3 children, and fast forward 30 years later, I'm surrounded by dolphins. They say hi, they talk to me. What? Mind-boggling manifestation there. And I don't even know if I manifested that. I just tatted them on my chest. But they've always been close to my heart. And I'm still on the high from seeing them and them being around. I couldn't even surf. I wasn't even trying to surf. I was just trying to bask and take in that moment, like, wow. This is really fascinating. You never know where your life is going to go. You never know what's going to be a part of your life. You never know what the universe, divine alignment, God, it's going to do in your life. You never know where it's going to take you. I mean, I've really come from very humble beginnings, really come from that. And look at this truck stirring up all the dust. Like, why? Why, truck? Why? So rude. So rude. So rude. Also, oops, I'm not supposed to, I didn't say that on YouTube. Oops. You subscribe? Aww. Thank you so much. And I got some great content. I got some great content. You're going to see some great stuff. I talk about my surf stories, what it's like to be in the ocean. And actually, you know, my stories have a lot of street wisdom in them. I talk a lot about street wisdom, especially the interactions in the ocean and what's going on and my interactions with people. There's a lot of street knowledge in them, so I'm, you know, using some Dumbo language in there if you kind of listen a little bit, you know, because I am from Detroit and I wasn't always in the surf life. I wasn't always around the ocean, but I made a promise to myself that if I ever get to move on the West Coast, which I always wanted to my whole entire life. I mean, ever since I was a little girl, I was mad at my parents. I remember going to school in snow, ice, sleet, and snow, and it would be like 40 below, maybe like 2 below, and it would be like 8 inches of snow, and I'm walking to school, and I'm like, what is this life? Why am I here? You know, why don't my parents move? And I was mad at them because I was like, why do we live here instead of here? And so I always wanted to, but I never thought it would be possible for me because I didn't grow up with any money. I certainly had a hard life, you know. Everything I've had, you know, I've had people that have blessed me in my life from time to time and people that have supported me in my life, but I never, you know, I never quite, oh my God, these trucks just coming past. I never quite, you know, just thought I'd be here. But what I did always have was intentions, and I always believed in manifesting. I've always been metaphysical. You know, at the end of the day, you might not have nothing in life, but living your highest intentions and visualization. And that's what I did a lot. I did a lot of visualization actually to get here, but that's about it. So, yeah, I'm always amazed at still being here, but I did make that intention that if I ever get on the West Coast, I would make sure I always saw the water every single week. Now, if somebody had told me I would be a surfer for 13 years, never in a million years would I have imagined that I would be a surfer. I never saw that coming from my life. All I wanted to do was not be afraid of the ocean, and I really wanted to understand the ocean. I never imagined that I would actually become a surfer. That was like, and then let alone being close to some dolphins, you know, that's deep. There's a lot of deep stuff in our lives that, you know, we're really intentional about our lives, you know. There's a lot of pettiness going on right now. It's a lot of, you know, jealousy and envy and people looking at the wrong things in life. And if you really do the inner work, which I'm always doing, it's not just you, me too. I'm always doing this inner work. You know, you don't know where you can go in life or what you can have or what the possibilities are. But I would say I built up this karma credit, honey. I built this karma credit. Karma credit will take you further than anything in life, you know? You can be a bad person and have all the money in the world and still not feel that inner peace, inner joy. But that karma credit from doing good in the world, from doing good, seeing good, treating people good, that can go a long way. I ain't say I'm the nicest person. I never say that. But I do have a good heart and I do have good intentions with people in my life, you know? It's a difference, you know. You can't always be nice to everybody, but you can't have a good heart, you know. Sometimes being nice to too many people is, I don't know why they doing that. This dust thing, I don't know. You know what? I'm glad I got it on video because I'm sure reporting that. What I've turned into is somebody who reports stuff now. But it's beautiful outside today, and can I come to, oh, can you please come to my city? Oh, that's what she said. 50, you look 28. Thank you. I don't know. I feel more like I feel more like 35 though. Like I am 35. I mean, I'm in the sun a lot. In the sun a lot. So there's some wrinkling going on. But you know, I ain't always had, you know, like easy circumstances. So those wrinkles were earned. The ones I do have. And, but yeah. It's beautiful outside, and I got an audience behind me just staring at me doing my content. People just be like fascinated. I don't know why people are fascinated anymore when you do content. Like, isn't this a regular thing that we just happen to be online doing content now? You know, like there's millions and millions of people online, and I don't even feel like content is a big thing to do anymore. You know, it's just something that we do. It's something that people do. It must be something happened down there. Let me get up. Oh, and why they just can't go around? Let me get up, because if another truck dump this stuff on me, I'm gonna be pissed. Dirtying up my clothes today. Look at so much dust too. Dirtying up my clothes. Oh my God, look, I got on cream too. I got on cream. A cream outfit. Ain't that a bee? They're looking at the dolphins now out there. There's a lot of dolphins today out in the ocean. Must have been something going on out there, but yeah, manifesting, visualization is real, you know. That's why I just try to keep my energy on the right things in life. Sometimes, you know, life can be a trip, and you can be around people that, you know, weigh you down sometimes, and you have to get by some water. Water is cleansing, water is healing, water is restoration and renewal, and it really helps you. It's hard to have a bad attitude around the ocean, and if you do, the saying is, if you have a bad attitude around the ocean, and it's interesting, right? Look, these people, of all the places these people can go, they decide to talk right in front of me. Of all the places that these people can, you know, there's all this space. And they're talking right behind me. That's what happens when you're a content creator too. That's the irritating thing about it, because you do draw a crowd. So anyway, back to the creation, back to the talking here. Well, look, I've been talking to y'all almost 30 minutes, and nice to talk to you all. Maybe I'll do this more often. Maybe I will try more often to talk to y'all. But look out for that blog today. Not blog. I don't do very many lives, and I think because I just, you know, I almost feel like it's a lot of rambling on about things. I'm really like an intentional person when I have conversations. I'm even an in-depth kind of person when I talk, you know. I like having deep conversations, not just small talk or have y'all on here for any type of reason. But, oh, look at this, look at that. Look at the planes up there. Check that out today. Those are bombers. Oh, wow. Those are 1940s 1940 planes, jets. Uh-oh. There's a few dolphins out here too. But nice talking to y'all. It's 30 minutes. I think I've talked long enough. Are they coming back this way? That's pretty interesting. I think they're going to come back this way. Maybe I'll keep y'all on a little longer. I think they went around. Very interesting. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Check out that blog today. And have a good day, okay? Y'all try to have a good day. Okay? Talk to you later.